Welcome, welcome. This is Gull, your money mindset expert. And once again, we have the amazing, the beautiful, the gorgeous, and the highly, I would say, vivacious, because I think that's the word that comes to mind. Kimilu. Welcome, Kimilu.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me here, Gull. And I'm so excited for what we are about to talk about.
I know we have an amazing topic for you, but before we sort of reveal the topic, I want you, Kimmy, I know everyone's heard how amazing you are, but in your own words, please tell everybody what it is that you do.
Ooh, I teach anyone how to make people fall in love with them by falling in love with themselves first. That is what I do.
Wonderful. And that actually is quite perfect, because what we do is we are going to be talking today about the 4 pillars of self-love for abundance, which is an amazing topic, and I'm really excited to talk about it. So tell me, Kimmy, what these 4 pillars, why are they so important, and why is self-love so important for abundance?
Oh, well, I have this metaphor. Is it a metaphor or this thing that I share now? And it's really about filling up your cup. People keep saying that you need to fill up your cup first, right? But for me, I kind of added something more. I say now, you fill up your cup and you only give from the overflow. So you're not right, you're not allowed to fill up your cup and then deplete yourself again. So it's so you're really coming from a place of abundance because you're only giving from the overflow. That means you're always full.
Wow, I love that. I've never heard that before, that you only give from the overflow. I love that. And
I made it up.
Yeah, and that makes sense, because if you are always full, you always be vibrating at very high frequency. Hence, you would attract things, people, circumstances which will give you abundance, not just in your finances, but also in your love life, in your health, and in your relationships. I love that. So let's dive right into it. The 4 pillars of self-love. So what's the first pillar?
The first would be being very intentional with everything that you do. I think when you are, then, there's so much purpose and fulfillment in your life. And that is abundance, right? Like when you feel fulfilled, I mean, the word itself means fulfilled, right? That means you can keep giving. And when you are purposeful as well. So each time when you're making a decision, a choice, when there's an action to be done, when you're intentional about it, then you also become very present. And again, that word present, right? It's like a gift. And again, that means abundance. Right? So there's so much abundance in being intentional about things in your everyday life. And they even ask, like, is it every day? Isn't it like just for the year? Because I do like, what's your intention for the year? Or what's your intention for the month? It can be a daily practice. It can even be like, just sipping this cup of tea practice, being intentional about it, being here with you right now, being intentional with the words that I speak, the tone of my voice, my actions. So just everything is so present, fulfilling, and purposeful. And I think that's so abundant.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And it makes sense. So everything you do, you have to have the right intention and be intentional about it, which is perfect. And the key word here being the right intention. I think a lot of the times we take action without the right intention, and without even, sometimes we're not even conscious of the acts we're doing, the kind of the way we're behaving, because we're not intentional. We're not putting conscious thought out of it. We are people of we are literally a bunch of habits. And the way we dress, the way we put shoes on, the way we brush our hair, the way we brush our teeth, everything's coming out from a habit. And therefore there's no intention behind it. And this is a new way of living, where you put intention behind everything you do. I love that. I think that's a brilliant first pillar. So what's the second pillar?
The second would be one of my favorites and one of, my community's favorites as well. It's gratitude. It's super my favorite, that I even have created like a product out of it, which is the grateful jar. So, it has pieces of paper, and then you write down things you're grateful for every day, and then you put it in the jar after a year, you read it again. I mean, it was just on Pinterest, but I was thinking one Christmas time, I bought 10 jars, 10 post-its, and 10 pens, put it in a bag, and I gave it to my friends.
Mm.
And then they said, "Oh my gosh, this is such a lovely gift." And I was thinking, you know what? People will be lazy to
Mm.
get a jar, to get that piece of paper, the pad, and then maybe to just be intentional because there's no instructions. So I created a kit and a community around it.
Mm.
So that's how much I love gratitude. But also, as you know, gratitude is a magnet for miracles. The more you're grateful, the more things you see. Like, it changes the lens of your eyes or your perspective. It's super magical. Obviously, you notice that it really raises your vibe.
Mm.
And I actually have my own like deepening of gratitude practice. And I just learned recently that you can also like raising your gratitude practice. So which one would you like me to share with you? The deepening or the raising?
They both sound amazing, actually. So let's like, can you not cover both, because they both sound amazing.
Right. So for deepening the gratitude, is it okay if I ask you some questions about
Sure.
gratitude?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
sure.
great. So the first level, like going deeper, would be what's one thing that you're grateful for today, specifically today, and be very specific.
As soon as you said that, the first thing that ever comes to my mind is my kids, both my kids. Always.
Ooh, awesome. Okay, so your kids, now I want you to just describe them physically, how they look like.
Okay, so my daughter, she's 14, going to be turning 15 in a few months. She
Mm,
is tall. As a person, she is kind, caring, compassionate, a
mm,
real feminist at heart, someone who stands up for what's right, who airs her views, is not afraid to go against the grain. Looks wise, she is stunning. She is
mm,
beautiful, and she really is drop dead gorgeous. But it's the inner beauty in her heart that really comes out. And I'm so
mm.
proud of the woman that she's becoming. And my
Ah,
son he's 10. He's a bit on the chubby side at the moment after COVID. But he's coming up to almost my height at the moment. He is also, again, one thing that's a theme through it, that he's also very compassionate, very
mm,
kind-hearted, and very caring boy. He has been since he was a baby. He even used to care for in kindergarten when he was 1 or 2 years old. I think 2 years old, not one, but when he
yeah.
was 2 years old, he was just literally basically just walking around. But he found a friend in need, or friend who was not well or something, he would sit with them. So I remember this one incident with him. He was in nursery, and the teacher actually told me that she was so
Yes.
amazed at it. So I think he was about 3 at the time, and one of his friends had fallen ill, and their mother was taking time to come back to pick her up. It was one of his female friends. And instead of going playing with all the other friends that everybody else was doing, he sat with her the entire afternoon waiting for her mummy to come. And he kept reading stories to her, and he helped her, and she had his head on her lap, and he sat there reading stories to her, make sure the blanket was over her. Such a
Yeah.
caring soul. And this is a 3-year
Aw.
old. So I always got compliments about him, as well as my daughter, actually, how caring they are toward the people. So I know my daughter is, and that's why she wants to become she wants to work with children when she gets older. But my son too. So this is a compassionate child. And then of
Mm.
course he's very smart and witty, and he's got a great sense of humor. And they both are such great human beings. I enjoy their company, and they make me feel proud of being who I am.
Nice. Okay. Well, I'm glad that now I kind of know them already and how beautiful their hearts are and their souls. So that would be the first part, just describing
Mhm.
what you're grateful for. And now we go to level two of deepening it. Now with their beautiful hearts and how compassionate they are, if you can just come up with like symbolisms of the your two children in your like just in general, like what could they symbolize in the world, perhaps?
It's funny, actually, when the first thing, because I'm quite intuitive, and the first thing that popped into
Yes.
my head were two things. One was a lamp. It's a diya in our language. It's made out. Diya is actually made out of clay, and it has light. It's light. Yes, light. You know, it comes out. That's the symbol that came into my head, which was basically light. And so that came as one, and the other one was waterfall. So I think that they represent both sides to both of my children. They both give light to people, and they will actually take on the darkness themselves to give light. So that's one thing for myself, for both of them, my son and my daughter. And the other thing is about waterfall. So they're full of generosity. They shower a lot of love, and it's boundless. So my daughter, she's extremely caring with young children, even with their cats and pets. And so is my son. So again, the other symbolism would be, you know, waterfall. There's just abundance of showering of love from them.
Wonderful. I love that. The symbols that you intuitively came up with. And now the third, I mean, I guess in a normal conversation, you wouldn't think of your children as a lamp and waterfall, right?
No.
So this is like that conversation that deepens your understanding of gratitude. And now even deeper. So like, what is now like the lamp or the via and the waterfall in your life? And it's tricky because you already said your children, but maybe, I mean, it could be them or it could be something else. Like, what is the light in your life?
So I think it does circle back to them, because the light in my life that's showing me my path would be my kids. So I wouldn't be where I am at the moment if it wasn't for my children. Yes, I've had hardships and so forth, and, you know, I had to pick myself up the ground, but I don't know if I would have the courage or the determination to do the things I've done to be where I am if it was not to make sure that my kids had a good life, that, you know, and so rapidly as well. So my thoughts begin with is, what can I do for my children? And in the evening when I go to bed, my last thoughts are, okay, what do I need to do tomorrow for my kids? It's always around my two children, so they are my light. And I suppose it symbolizes me too, because because the waterfall comes to me, because that's the amount of love I feel for them. I am harsh. I'm not I'm not an easy mom at times, because I, you know, expect them to be disciplined or whatever else, because I'm a desi mom. So I'm a very desi mom. So my children have rules to follow, because I do believe in discipline. Yet my love for them is boundless and it's endless, like a waterfall, and it just overflows all the time without anyone asking for it. So yeah, I think it does go circle back to my children.
Right. And also to you, that you became also the light and the waterfall.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And I receive love from them too. So, you know, the amount of love I get from my children, I'm very blessed. Even though I have a teenager at the moment and a preteen, they shower me with a lot of love, and they will come and hug me just for the sake of it, because they just want to hug you or they just want to cuddle. I receive a lot of love from those two as well.
Yeah. And this is why it is so abundant. It's an abundant practice, right?
Yes.
To be grateful and to go deeper into it, because in a day you can just say, oh, I'm grateful for my children, and people usually say that when you ask them, what are you grateful? Oh, I'm grateful for my children, from my home, for my work. But let's go much deeper and see, like, what does that symbolize? So what does that look like? What is that in your life? So you expand your appreciation and your gratitude, right? And then there's an abundance, like, oh, I never thought like that lamp would actually symbolize my children, and then now circle back to them again, and then to me, and the love that I receive because I also give to them.
Yeah.
Right. So that's going deeper. Now we'll go raise your vibe. So just in 10 seconds, just tell me random things that you're grateful for. Like
I'm grateful for my, again, the first thing comes to mind is I'm grateful for my kids. I'm grateful for my kids' health. I'm grateful for my kids' relationship with me. I'm grateful for my own health. I'm grateful for my relationship with divine energy. I'm grateful for my work. I'm grateful for my clients. I'm grateful for the kind of results I'm able to get from my clients. I'm grateful for all the lessons. I'm grateful for in the hardships that come my way. And that's actually 10 really.
Yes, yes. And I'm sure there's so much more. Like
Yeah.
you're thinking, oh my gosh, it's going to be a lot. But when you're there, you're like, wait a minute, I have so much more to say and so much more to be grateful for. So that would be like the random things that you're grateful for. Now let's again go back to today. Be very specific with the things that you're grateful for today, as if they had happened already. So maybe we'll imagine, well, it's still afternoon, but then maybe afternoon until night there will still be things that will be happening to you and they haven't happened yet, but you're going to be grateful for them already.
Okay.
What will they be?
Okay, so I will be grateful for the time I spent with my daughter watching, something on TV, Mother Merlin or some other Netflix program. I'm grateful for the time where me and my son and my daughter will have together to have a meal, our evening meal together. I'm grateful for, because of that, I've got a call with a client of mine. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for our, continue with this conversation. I'm grateful for I've got to send off some documents for a property that I'm buying. So I'm grateful for buying that property. And I know that'll be secured. I'm also grateful for, having I'm going to be sending off recordings to our editor so they can be uploaded for tomorrow and Friday. So is that enough already? Okay, I can carry on.
A lot for today. I mean, if there's so much more, then that's great. But I think those are wonderful, wonderful things. And you've already manifested them because you're already grateful for them, right? And there's so much abundance in being able to do that, right? And now for the third level of raising your vibe, I just want you to go to a time and space. Probably just being in that new property of yours or whatever it is that you want to go to, and be grateful for the time and space, that moment that you're so grateful for. Tell us all about it.
Okay, so I'll go 12 months into the future. So I'm so grateful for the new income level that we've broken through the income level, and we are now hitting the target we set for ourselves in December 2021, and we've achieved it already by October 2022. I'm so grateful for my son who's now in his new school, and he's thriving and he's happy, and we are blessed. I'm grateful for all the holidays we've had so far, and now we're off to, again, we've just visited Greece. We're now off to Egypt, and then probably off to Turkey thereafter. I'm grateful for the holidays that are about to come up in December, because my daughter is going to be preparing for her exams for GCSEs, but we get to spend some time together so I can show her how to do mind maps, and I can show her my techniques so she can excel too. But that means we'll get to spend more time together. I'm grateful for my new car, which is standing outside now, but we still have an old one because I'm keeping that for my daughter. But we've now upgraded another car, which is my dream car. We've been looking for it, but that had to be on hold until we hit a certain income level. I'm grateful for the new businesses that I set up, and I've got a whole team around there too. Rather than having virtual assistants, I have actually an office now where we are dealing with our property business, because that's now taken off.
Oh, wonderful. I want you to take maybe 3 deep breaths in and out for that. And just really feel that in your entire body, each fiber of your being, each cell. And take a deep breath in again. Just stay there for a while. And then one more time, take a deep breath in and just be absolutely grateful for the abundance, all that there is and all that's about to come. So there. So how do you feel about that?
Oh, I love this exercise. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I think both of them were really, really, really amazing. Deepening and raising were both amazing. I loved it.
Very abundant, right?
Yes, very abundant. And you can actually, when you're going through these exercises, you feel very abundant. And I can understand why this would raise your vibration and why abundance would be attracted to you. Hell yeah, absolutely. Because you feel so abundant, and it's already realized. It's fabulous. I loved it.
Yes. So now we shall go to the third pillar.
Yeah.
Yeah, which would be compassion. And we really actually focus on self-compassion. And we just
Mm.
go back to that sharing earlier that I told you about filling up your cup and then giving from your overflow. So just really, this is a reminder for yourself to really take care of yourself first.
Mm.
And it's not even me first, it's me too.
Mm.
Right? Like it's not just you or it's not just me, but us. Like we need to take care of us.
Mm.
So allow me to take care of myself first so that I can so easily, abundantly give so much to you too.
Yeah.
And there are so many practices, of course. The simpler ones are more self-soothing, like, getting pampered, maybe reading your book, sipping your coffee. And the deeper ones would be, being able to set boundaries, being able to say no to things or yes to things that really, um,
So,
uh, yeah, matter and stuff like that. So that would be compassion.
mm-hmm.
And then our fourth one would be courage. And that would really taking action
Mm-hmm.
for self-love and to be able to really be abundant. I guess you need to do stuff because
Mm.
you can be listening right now
Yes.
and they can be like agreeing
Mm.
and they'll say, oh, that was really nice and beautiful. But after this session or this call, this talk, are they going to actually do it? So take
Mm.
courage. Take courage in being intentional. Take courage in doing your gratitude practice. Take courage in being compassionate to yourself. And then that's the time that you'll really fill yourself up, give from your overflow, be abundant in all aspects of your life.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so can we just have a quick recap of all of the four pillars?
Right. Intention, be intentional, have a gratitude practice,
Mm-hmm.
and then be compassionate to yourself, and then be courageous.
Mm. And I'm going to add to this. I love the fact that he says courageous. I think whenever we make a life-changing decision, be it leaving a job that we've trained, a lot of the people who listen to this podcast have, trained to
Right.
be in their professions for years. I did. I
Mm,
studied for like years by the looks. I was never ending, 4 year of
yes.
my degree, and then another year of bar, and then another year of, when I was studying for the New York bar, and another year when I was studying for the, becoming a solicitor. It was just ridiculous. And the amount of work I did, it was crazy. And yet I gave up that whole that whole part of me to go on to do something else, which I enjoyed more. And I'm so
Mm,
grateful for the decision, but it took a lot of courage. And that courage is required, because without the courage, you won't go anywhere. So I think I'm so glad you put that as one of the pillars, because it is part of self-love. When you take the courage to make decisions which will make you happy, it is
yeah.
part of self-love. And I love how you phrase it, Kimmy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I mean, I'm so happy that I'm able to share this with all of you today, and I hope that you do take courage and making that move, that action, that decision, that choice.
Wonderful. Well, Kimmy, it's been a fantastic and wonderful conversation with you. Tell everybody, how can we connect with you? Where can they find you on the internet?
Oh, okay. You can find me on Instagram. It's Kimilu Life Coach. And I also have a website, www.kimilulifecoach.com. It's so easy to get in touch with me. Just press that reply or send a message button, and you'll hear back from me personally.
Wonderful, wonderful. And if you are listening to us on the podcast, remember the links that Kimilu has just mentioned will be in the show notes. And if you're watching us on YouTube, then down below in the description section, you'll have all her links. Do check her out. She's one kick-ass lady and an awesome, awesome human being with a gorgeous soul. I absolutely love Kimmy, and I'm sure if you get to know her and start following her or start seeing her, you will too fall in love with her, because she is amazing. Thank you so much for being such an amazing guest, Kimmy. I guess we will talk to you at some time in the future, but for now,
For
thank
sure.
you so much for being such an amazing guest.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And thank you for listening to me and Kimmy today on Money Talkies. I will be back with another amazing guest, picking their brains and trying to find some nuggets of gold to find out how you and I can build a better business and to become more abundant. Until the next time we meet, this is Gull Khan signing off. Take care and bye for now.